Jim, how long has the Grain Academy Museum been around for?
It's been here since 1981, and it was started by a man called Mr. Alan Beatty, who had the foresight to see that there was a real need in the urban society to have a knowledge about agriculture. It was being lost by the prairie dweller, and agriculture is a really important industry to have, and he thought, you know, let's establish something like this so we can make people aware.
The cool thing about the Grain Academy Museum is that it's very interactive. What will people see when they come for a visit?
Well, we try to show them a bit about the past of the grain industry, about pioneers and the settlers, how they came, the present, about how it's operated with the elevator system and the railway system, and a little bit on the future, some of the directions we're going in agriculture and the changes that are being made every day to agriculture.
Jim, I have no doubt that this is big with the kids.
It is, and it's set up basically to demonstrate how grain moves out of Western Canada. We're landlocked, everything has to go by rail, and we have a model working railway here that really demonstrates that for them. The train would come out of Calgary, it'd come to all these different elevators out here, and any rail cars that are loaded with grain, it would pick them up and drop off empty ones to take back into Calgary. And once it's in Calgary, it would sort into what we call a unit train.
And then it would head over to Vancouver?
From there, it would be put on the unit train to go through the mountains and head to Vancouver, yes.
And how many different countries do we actually ship our grain to?
We ship our country to 80 to 90 different countries every year. And we ship 80% of our grain out of the country to feed other people in the world. We only use 20% for domestic use for both livestock and human.
Jim, what do we have here?
We've got some heads of grain, which is actually wheat samples, and they were grown on last year's crop, and we bring them in to show the students about where the wheat seeds come from.
And you guys make it fun. What can the kids do?
Well, we show them how to thrash it. If they're a farmer and he was out in the field, he'd take this head of grain and he'd thrash it out. So we'll put it down, face down on the plate, and we'll rub it and twist it, and watch the little seeds come out. You can see them come out. And then when, like up in the diagram up there, they use natural wind, but we use our own wind to blow the chaff out. So you just tilt the thing down in front and blow, and you get some of the seeds. Some people are windier than others.
I think I am definitely got a lot of wind in me.
And then you just have to kind of hand pick them and make sure it's clean. And then you have your seed, your wheat seed. From here we go over to the grinder.
Let's do this.
It's not the grinder, it's a flour grinder.
This is cool. And so you can drop your seeds in there?
Drop your seeds in there. And from there we ask the kids to come up and turn the crank. And if you want to, the other way.
Oh, the other way.
Yep.
I thought it was too easy.
And you can see the flour coming up.
How do the kids react to this when they actually see how flour is made?
Well, they kind of get excited, and they want to get their hands in there, and they want to check to see how it tastes. And they really enjoy themselves. It's a good hands-on experience for them.
Jim, where are we now?
Well, we're in a replica of an old elevator office that would have been in some of the old elevators that we had, in the wooden elevators. And it was pretty well run by this thing, which is an old Fairbanks Morris gasoline engine. And you used to get on the flywheel of those things, and you'd prime it and start it, and it'd start running during the day. And this old elevator office would just be jumping because the motor would just be underneath it here. And it would be cooled by that big water tank over there, which is 500 gallons of water. And during the wintertime, when it got 40 below, that little pot-bellied stove we'd see over here, you'd have to stoke it to its fullest and keep it really nice and warm in here so the water wouldn't freeze and it would freeze up the motor.
Where is the grain industry going?
Well, the grain industry is going into an area and time now where the demand for grain is really, really high. Real shortages of food in the world, and we cannot stand crop failures or anything like that because we're going to be out of food, and we're having a big population of people in the world, and if we don't continuously keep increasing our yields and growing good crops, the world's going to be a funny place to live in.
And what do you hope people take away when they come for a visit?
The knowledge of where that seed is dropped in the ground, what it matures into, and what it does for us as people in feeding our ourselves when we go to that grocery store and buy those groceries off the counter. Without that farmer, nothing would happen, and those grocery shelves would be awful bare.